I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions.
Honey, you are not ready for this. Because after decades of being ride or die for each other, it looks like Jay-Z just threw Diddy all the way under the bus. And baby, Diddy ain't taking that line down. The tea is scorching hot. Word is Diddy allegedly flipped the script during a court session and dragged Jay-Z's name straight into the mess. Oh yes, the claws are out. So here's the breakdown. It all started with a wild civil lawsuit filed in December 2024, and let me tell you, it had the streets shook. The lawsuit didn't just have Diddy's name on it, it also named Jay-Z, accusing both of them of something unthinkable.
What made you want to come forward?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough.
Now the man behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, a lawyer with a taste for chaos and the headlines to prove it. The moment the allegations hit the internet, Jay-Z snapped back. He wasn't about to sit quietly and let his name get dragged. He called the whole thing what it was, a straight-up blackmail attempt. Jay-Z made it clear, I'm not settling with anybody, period. Meanwhile, Diddy? Oh, he was already drowning in his own tidal wave of scandals, racketeering, sex trafficking, you name it. His trial was already scheduled for May 2025, and now this? But to understand just how deep this drama runs, we gotta rewind. Because these two weren't just hip-hop giants, they were brothers in the game. Diddy built Bad Boy Records in 1993, Jay-Z launched Rockefeller in 1994, and Biggie was the glue connecting both. Biggie and Jay-Z collabed on Brooklyn's Finest, and Jay-Z later featured Diddy on I Know What Girls Like. These two weren't just collaborators, they were building legacies side by side. And when Biggie was murdered in 1997, it hit them both. Diddy channeled his grief into No Way Out, featuring Jay-Z. Their bond seemed unshakable. Even when Jay-Z got caught up in that stabbing incident in 1999 and Diddy was battling gun charges from the infamous Times Square club shooting, they were there for each other. Their friendship was like hip-hop royalty. Diddy was calling Jay-Z extended family. Jay was showing up at every party, from Diddy's wild 4th of July blowouts to his 35th and 39th birthday bashes. Jay-Z was always on the guest list. They even donated $1 million together for Hurricane Katrina relief. That's loyalty, baby. And remember that 2007 Screamfest clip, the one where Diddy slapped Jay-Z's behind on stage? It resurfaced years later with people side-eyeing hard after the assault claims started flying. But back then, it was just two rich besties goofing off, right? Fast forward to the 2010s, and it was the era of black excellence. Jay-Z and Diddy were being crowned as moguls, billionaires, cultural kings. They stood side by side at brunches, award shows, speeches, and galas. Jay-Z even gave a loving tribute video for Diddy's BET Lifetime Achievement Award in 2022. Diddy, in return, told the world that Jay was one of the only people who could call him Sean. It was that deep. Or so we thought. Because in 2023, all hell broke loose. Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, filed a bombshell lawsuit in November 2023, accusing him of horrific abuse. That lawsuit opened the floodgates, and soon more and more people came forward. And when Diddy got locked up in September 2024 on those federal charges, that's when the whole house of cards came crashing down. And guess who started getting side-arm right along with him? Yup, Jay-Z. Because, baby, if you're partying with someone for decades and all this dark stuff starts surfacing, people start wondering, what did you know? Jaguar Wright even called him out publicly on Piers Morgan Uncensored, claiming Jay and Beyonce knew what was up. Piers had to apologize after Jay-Z's legal team brought the heat, but the damage was done. The whispers were loud and the streets were listening.
Getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah.
And of course, 50 Cent couldn't resist. He started posting memes and jabs at Jay-Z, clowning him for suddenly going real quiet while Diddy's world was falling apart. But then came the real bomb. On December 8, 2024, that civil lawsuit got amended, and it now directly accused Jay-Z and Diddy of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl at a VMA after party back in 2000. The accuser, known only as Jane Doe, claimed both men took turns assaulting her while another female celebrity watched. The lawsuit used New York's updated gender-motivated violence protection law, which lets survivors sue even years after the fact. According to the claim, Jane Doe was trying to get into the VMAs without a ticket when a limo driver, allegedly working for Diddy, told her she was what he was looking for and took her to a party. She said she was asked to sign something, probably an NDA, given a bitter-tasting drink, and woke up feeling disoriented, only to find herself in a nightmare. Jay-Z and Diddy both assaulted her, and that she barely escaped running to a gas station in nothing but her clothes wrapped around her. The trauma allegedly followed her for life. And suddenly, Jay-Z was no longer a bystander. He was in the thick of it.
She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up.
We rode home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened.
Jay-Z went off. He dropped a bombshell statement via Roc Nation, calling the allegations heinous and idiotic, saying the whole thing was a shakedown. He claimed Busby sent him a demand letter, hoping to pressure him into paying hush money, but Jay wasn't playing that game. No, sir, he wrote. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you. Jay even said explaining this mess to Blue Ivy was one of the hardest things he's had to do as a father. His legal team, led by the relentless Alex Spiro, fired back hard. They demanded the plaintiff reveal her identity and tried to get the whole case thrown out. But then, in a twist no one expected, Spiro started saying there was no real friendship between Jay-Z and Diddy, just a professional relationship. Wait, what? Social media exploded. People were like, hold up, weren't y'all besties? Didn't you just call him family? This move had folks scratching their heads, thinking Jay was trying to distance himself real quick now that Diddy was facing the music.
We also seen Puff say, my brother Jay-Z, this is my brother, we're brothers. So when you hear that term, it makes people assume that you guys are closer than just associates.
And just when it seemed like Jay-Z was in the clear, Jane Doe doubled down. She told NBC News she stayed quiet for 24 years because she was scared no one would believe her. There were holes in her story, like her dad not remembering driving 5 hours to pick her up, but she insisted. The core of her story was real. Jay-Z's team pounced on every inconsistency. They said she mixed up dates, misidentified celebs, like claiming to see Benji Madden, who wasn't even in NYC, and used all this to try to discredit her. Meanwhile, Jay-Z kept the pressure on. He filed a defamation lawsuit against Jane Doe, Tony Busby, and others, claiming this whole thing was a money grab and a smear campaign. Busby hit back, calling Jay-Z's lawsuit baloney and accusing Jay of harassing his client. He claimed Jay's team even tried to pay off people to make fake accusations against him. Woo! This was turning into a legal war. Then, in a shock twist, Jane Doe dropped the case with prejudice on February 14th, 2025, meaning she can't refile it. Jay-Z's lawyer celebrated, saying Jay-Z never paid a dime and stood tall in the face of false and heinous lies. Jay-Z said the emotional damage done to him and his family wouldn't be forgotten. And just when the dust started to settle, boom! On March 12th, 2025, ABC News dropped a wild update. A recording surfaced. In it, Jane Doe allegedly said that Jay-Z never assaulted her and that she was pressured by Busby to include his name in the lawsuit. Girl, that was it. That recording lit social media on fire. Jay-Z didn't waste a second. On March 3rd, before that tape even leaked, he had already filed a defamation lawsuit against Jane Doe and her legal squad, accusing them of cooking up a malicious conspiracy just for the cash. His claim that this whole thing was about greed, not justice. He said the false accusations didn't just hurt his name, they cost Roc Nation over $20 million, 0 cents in lost contracts and business. And let's be real, when Jay-Z talks lost bags, the industry listens. Busby clapped back like a man cornered. He called the lawsuit baloney and claimed Jay-Z's team was intimidating witnesses, harassing his client, and trying to bury the truth with threats and money. It was messy, chaotic, and a total media circus. But amid all this, a viral YouTube rumor exploded. They said in court, Diddy had allegedly pointed at Jay-Z and said, you know what happened? Was it true? Who knows? But with no verified sources and Diddy sitting behind bars in Brooklyn waiting for his trial, it's more likely this was internet fantasy. Still, the moment that clip hit TikTok, conspiracy theories went wild.
He was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him.
With Jay-Z? Busby did?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No.
But Jay-Z wasn't backing down. His defamation suit claimed deep emotional damage, said this wasn't just PR, it was personal. Blue Ivy had to ask questions. Beyonce had to sit front row for this mess. Roc Nation's brand took a hit. This wasn't just a case, this was a war to protect a legacy. Meanwhile, Diddy, still locked up, still facing those serious charges, sex trafficking, racketeering, transporting people for prostitution. And let's be clear, those criminal charges, they ain't going away. The Jane Doe case might have been dismissed, but Diddy's problems are far from over. And while Jay-Z was out here clearing his name and suing for defamation, Diddy's defense team was still calling every lawsuit a publicity stunt. They claimed Busby was a clout chaser, but the internet wasn't buying it anymore. The narrative had shifted. Diddy wasn't just in trouble, he was the face of Hollywood's dark underbelly. And just when we thought Jay-Z and Beyonce were finally distancing themselves enough, boom, another name drop came crashing down. In April 2025, Joseph Manzero filed a lawsuit claiming he was assaulted at a 2015 party in Miami, and y'all, he named Jay-Z and Beyonce as witnesses to the freak-off. Manzero's claim? That he was drugged, humiliated, forced to wear obscene things at a party for Diddy's son Christian's birthday. And that Jay-Z and Beyonce were allegedly right there. And baby, it gets worse. He says Beyonce was shocked when she saw him and even spoke out, and hearing Beyonce's name tied to this level of mess, unthinkable. This is Beyonce, the queen of empowerment, of elegance. Hearing she might have witnessed this kind of horror had fans spiraling. But hold up. Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, came back swinging with receipts. He proved Jay-Z was in New York that same night speaking at NYU. Public record, media photos. The man wasn't in Florida, period. And just like that, Manzero amended the lawsuit, erasing both Jay-Z and Beyonce's names. So, were Jay and B at that party? No. But does it mean they never saw anything? That's the question the internet won't stop asking, because they were at a lot of Diddy's parties over the years. His white parties, New Year's blowouts, you name it. So, while they weren't at this one, people are wondering, how deep did their connections go? As of now, Jay-Z's legal team has a solid record. Allegations dropped. Accusations denied and proven false. He's winning in the court of law, but the court of public opinion, still on the fence. People are saying he's distancing himself from Diddy only because the heat's on. They're like, where was this energy before? He was calling Diddy family in 2016, and now suddenly they were just business associates? Fans and critics are divided. Some say Jay-Z is smart, cutting ties to keep his brand clean. Others think he's fake, only speaking out when his name got dragged. Either way, it's clear the friendship is dead. And let's not forget the bigger conversation this sparked about hip-hop culture and silence around abuse. A Guardian op-ed blasted Jay-Z's dismissiveness and called out how no one even mentioned the unnamed female celebrity who allegedly watched that 2000 assault. They said the whole industry needs to wake up and face its demon. But the internet still split. Some are praising Jay-Z for standing firm and never settling. Others say the whole system's broken. That men with money always walk away clean while survivors are left in the dust. And baby, the rumors aren't done yet. Reddit threads are popping off about celebs who went to Diddy's parties. Denzel allegedly dipped early when things got weird, but others supposedly stayed late, because that's when, as Diddy once said on camera, the real party starts. You can still find that clip floating around. He literally told the kids to leave so the adults could get freaky. It's all too much. And look, Jay-Z may have walked away from the lawsuits, but the damage? Already done. His name is forever tied to this storm. And while Diddy waits behind bars for a trial that could put him away for life, Jay-Z is out here battling the fallout, reputation, brand deals, legacy. Because in the end, even if Jay-Z didn't commit the crimes, the public's asking, how much did he see? How close was he really to the man now accused of running a sex trafficking empire dressed up as Hollywood nightlife? One thing's for sure, the Jay-Z and Diddy era is over. No more brunches, no more power couple photo ops, no more shout-outs. Whatever bond they had is gone, and the alleged courtroom whisper of, you know what happened? That might just be the quote that haunts them both forever.